Here it is, baseball season finally here. We got action. Last night I was watching a little bit of the Dodgers and the Angels. And it felt like baseball season, was already off and running. Hasn't started just yet, unless you want to count Chicago and the Dodgers, the Tokyo series. But for the majority of us, nope, starting this week and including the Phillies coming up here a little later this week. Joining me to break down all things MLB discussion, predictions, totals, awards, and then some. Luke Arcaini, our Phillies insider. Phillies open up shop on the 27th, Thursday. Luke, how we doing?
Doing great. I'm about 48 hours around there. I think we got a 4:05 tip-off first pitch on Thursday. So we are rocking and rolling, ready to go in about 2 days.
We will have some tipping off at 7 o'clock. Is that the first game? 7 o'clock on that Thursday? Yeah, BYU and Alabama, 7:09. Yeah. Also, let me open up the show by saying happy birthday to Luke. It's Luke's big day today. How about that, sports fans?
Oh, yeah. Big 2-3.
What are you doing tonight? Oh, Jordan. That's a fun year.
Yeah.
That's a fun year. MJ.
Nothing crazy. Just some dinner with the fam. It is a Tuesday, unfortunately. Nothing wrong with having some fun on a Tuesday. But we'll be responsible tonight, and we'll get into some things maybe on Friday or something like that.
Get the club going up on a Tuesday. Come on.
Oh, big time. Big time. Come on.
All right, we got some awards we're going to discuss from Cy Young and MVP. We got 6 postseason spots in both leagues, division winners, wild cards. We got some sleeper teams and some teams that we have our eyes on and more. Let's get to it. What do you say? Let's talk about the NL East. Of course, we will start there. Refresh everybody's brain from last season. Braves dealt with a ton of injuries. Mets played their brains out mid-summer until the close-up of until they were eliminated. Nationals were the Nats, and the Marlins were even worse than the Nats. Phillies ended up winning the division 95-67. Braves 89-73, tied with the New York Mets. Luke Arcaini, as we look over at DraftKings Sportsbook for the futures as far as winning the division in the NL East. Right now as we stand, Braves plus 110, Phillies plus 215, Mets plus 240, Nats 65-1 and 250-1 the Marlins. Who's winning the NL East?
Yeah, first of all, I think Braves plus 110 for a division like this is a little crazy. I didn't think they would be almost like even money to win this division. Realistically, I think we know that there's 3 teams that can win this division: the Braves, the Phillies, and the Mets. I have the Phillies, and really, it's not to me really a homer kind of thing. I think the Phillies have the best roster in the NL East, top to bottom. I think it's very, very close with the Braves. I think it's a little close with the Mets, but I don't think it's as close as people think it is. And I don't think these Mets odds should be as low as they are, honestly. I think what we've realized over the years is that you don't get to 90, 95, 100 wins without really good pitching. The Mets don't have good pitching. Their staff's really not that great. Their bullpen's really not that great. So for me, it really comes down to the Phillies and the Braves. I have the Phillies at plus 215. I just think, once again, I just think it's a slightly better roster. I will say this: I don't think at the end of the season, I don't think the standings and the records will be anything outside of 3 games. I think I said to you the other day, I think the last series of the year for the Phillies is going to matter for something. And I think whatever team clinches this NL East, I think it'll probably come down to the last series, but I do think it's going to be the Phillies in the end.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm with you. I think, look, as we take a look around Major League Baseball as a whole, looking for spots to of course wager on, the way you hit on the NL East is kind of how I'm looking at a lot of the league. And it's like, all right, realistically, like, yeah, you're not going to look at the Marlins. You're not going to look at the Nationals. No. Can the Mets win this division this year? You're asking a lot. You
Yeah.
are asking a lot for the Mets to get right in year one with Juan Soto, with the approach of that starting five rotation. I know they're going to get two pitchers back that are somewhat of significance throughout the course of the season. They will be probably players for a starter out there.
It's
But
also
even then,
asking a team that it took game 163 for them to get into the playoffs. It's asking a team like that to go win the NL East against a loaded Phillies team and a loaded Braves team. I mean, if there's one team in baseball that's set for a bounce back season, it has to be the Braves.
agreed.
They almost got into the playoffs in 163, and I think every one of their starters were either out for a month or out for the year last year. They're set up for a nice bounce back season. I just think this division is going to be really tight. And I think in the end, I think the reason that the Phillies are going to win it is because how much better their rotation is than everybody else's.
Yep. All right, look, we're going to go a little head-to-head on that one. I have no issues with it. I do have the Phillies in the playoffs, but for us right here, right now, I am going to take the Braves winning this division. Again, I would – it's just for the prediction side of things, like wagering, I'm with you. If I was placing a wager, there's no way plus 110 on the Braves, and that kind of goes against a lot because at the end of the day, you just want to win. You want to win your bets. But, man, plus 110 – if to tie up money for a season-long commitment at plus 110, I'd pass. So if I was telling anybody, it seems like it'd be a little bit more fun to bet the Phillies at plus 215 to win the division, a little bit more value in my mind as well. But either one of those teams, I think, will win the division. Give me the Braves. You're going Phillies. Let's keep it moving. All right, let's get on over to the Central. Last year, Brewers ended up winning 93-69. Cards finished 83-79, tied with the Cubs. Cubs were terrible too as well, especially on the offensive side, 83-79. Reds 77-85. Pirates 76-86. A competitive division. Not the best top to bottom, but a competitive division. Could it be a little bit better this season? I think some teams will do good. I think the Cardinals will take a step back this year. But Luke Arcaini, as we get on over to DraftKings Sportsbook, the Cubs plus 125 to win the division, plus 260 for the Brewers. Cardinals 6-1. Reds plus 650. Kyle Tucker, man, he's going to have an impact with the Cubs. Don't get me wrong, but is the wrong team favored to win the division here in your mind?
Yeah, I kind of think they are. I think this division to me, I think should be a lot more of a toss up on the books than it is.
Agreed.
I think this should be like a Cubs plus 140, Brewers plus 150 kind of thing. Like
I like that.
this is such a toss up division. This is easily the biggest toss up in the entire league. Probably top to bottom the worst, I would say. I would say looking back at the end of this season, if you combined all the wins in each division, I would be willing to say the Central might be at the bottom. It's just kind of a very average division. There's a lot of average to slightly above average teams. I think you could tell me either five of these teams would win the division at the end of the year, and I wouldn't be like insanely shocked.
Sure.
I'm gonna take the Brewers at plus 260. Just because of how many times they've done it. I think it's a good number to put up against a Cubs team who is at plus 125, and they added a right field bat and their rotation kind of got worse. So I like the Brewers here at plus 260. I will say I don't hate the Reds at plus 650 either. I think their lineup can be like sneaky fun. A lot of people are having some flyers on Ellie to win MVP this year. I think the Reds can make some noise. But this is just it's an extremely boring division to bet, watch everything about it. But I would probably lean the Brewers plus 260.
Yeah, I would push back a little bit on the boring. I think the Reds have some studs. De La Cruz, of course.
Maybe not boring.
Yeah,
but
Steens with the Pirates, O'Neill Cruz with the Pirates. Like they got some big time names. Yeah, I agree with that. A very average division. With that being said, I'm gonna ride. I am going to ride with the Cubs here. Right. Go Cubs, go! Shout out to our good friend Sheffield Shuffler and all those Cub fans out there. I'm going to ride with the Cubbies to get the job done to win the division this year. They're favored at plus 125. Again, Brew Crew. I hate to say it, but it mark the tape, Luke. I don't know if they still do that, but at the end of this year, plus 260 for the Brewers. If I'm giving you to play, that is the play to make. But the Cubs at plus 125. I'm going to go with the Cubs to win a division. Luke and I are going head to head on that.
I
one.
will
Again,
say too on the Cubs. I think it's if the Cubs were more of like a plus 150, plus 160 kind of number, I would definitely jump on that. Because I think their lineup has the potential to be very fun. They have a ton of young guys in there now. Obviously, yeah, Tucker. Their biggest thing is they need to find the old Dansby. They have to find the old Dansby. It was a pretty brutal year for him last year. If they have some old production from him at shortstop with Tucker, with Suzuki, Pico Armstrong, they can win this division pretty easily. I just don't know if they will.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's a big ask, but you know what? Let's put some expectations on those lovable losers and see if they can turn something around this year. It'd be fun to see the Cubs make the playoffs for the first time since 2020, which I believe was the pandemic season. All right, next one up. Let's go to the West. And
wow, it's so much fun.
Are you picking against
here in the West?
Are you picking against the Dodgers?
I am for fun. I'm not saying the team I'm going to pick is going to win. Like I guarantee you the team I'm going to tell you is not going to win the division, but I'm not going to sit here with my hands under myself and bet a minus 500 to win the division.
Correct. I dig that.
I'm throwing a tiny little flyer on the Diamondbacks. Tiny bet.
Diamondbacks.
6-1. 6-1 on the Diamondbacks. Tiny bet. I think their lineup got better. Their rotation got better. And their bullpen got better. They got better in every single aspect. Obviously, we just got news of Jordan Montgomery needs Tommy John. Not really that significant for them. He had like a 7 ERA last year. But if there was a team for me to throw a flyer on, it would be the Diamondbacks. I do have the Diamondbacks and the Padres both in the wild card round. So this is going to be an awesome division. The Dodgers are probably going to win 105 games. The Diamondbacks, I love their win total. Their win total, I can't remember the exact number, but it's just about my favorite bet of the entire season. So I have them at over 86.5.
Correct.
Diamondbacks for this year. It's going to be a bunch of heavy hitters in that division. The big three, obviously, the Padres, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. The Giants could maybe make some noise, but they're not going to do anything significant in that division. And the Rockies might be the worst team in baseball. But the top three is a legit top three. So I'm saying this right now. The Dodgers are going to win the division, but if they wouldn't, it's going to be the Diamondbacks.
We'll see what happens with Corbin Carroll. He had a terrible season last year. And, of course, we know what he's capable of. They do have a good lineup.
A great lineup.
It's hard for me to sit here and say that I don't like the Diamondbacks. I do. I think the Diamondbacks have shown us. And, of course, they went out there and got Corbin Burns, which is a huge deal. I felt like Baltimore Orioles, if they were serious, should have held on to him. But now you got him, Gallen, Kelly, Rodriguez, and Brandon Pfaadt. Pretty good starting rotation right there. So I'm not arguing one bit. And as far as the standpoint of laying the number or getting the odds that you're getting, as far as those futures are concerned, and again, that was plus 600.
Yeah,
I don't have any issues, but I'm on the flip side. I'm about winning, and I'm going to give the minus 500 for the LA Dodgers. They're not losing that division. They're not losing. I just took out a nice loan, and I am putting it all on the Dodgers minus 500.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? Ridiculous. All right, let's get on over into the wild card world. And who are your three?
Wild card. So obviously my division winners, the Phillies, Brewers, and the Dodgers, as my realistic winner of the NL West. My three wild card, the Diamondbacks, the Braves, and the Padres. I have the Mets missing the playoffs. It's going to be really tight at the end. The National League is just absolutely loaded this year. I think there's 6 teams in the National League that could win the World Series this year. So it's just a loaded league compared to the American League this year. So my 6 teams, 1 seed Dodgers, Phillies 2 seed, Brewers 3 seed, and then the 3 wildcard teams, I think they'll all finish around the same. I would probably have the Braves as the 4 seed, and then the Diamondbacks, and then the Padres. Yeah. Mets out. First team out.
Wow. I am not in agreement with you on that, so we will have some change here. I'm just trying to pull up the to make the playoffs. They changed up their tab because I think these games are in action. Well, I don't know why they
playoff / seeds tab. There we go.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to see to make the playoffs, and for me, oh, there it is. Yeah, for me, I am rolling with the Padres to, of course, make the division or make the playoffs out of the West. If the Dodgers aren't careful, like for me, for my money, I would take them over to Diamondbacks to give the Dodgers a run for their money. They were up 2-1 in that series. They have all sorts of firepower on offense. Pitching staff is pretty damn good. It seems like they could be somewhat in a Dodgers brain, just a little bit. A little bit. So I would say if any team that could shake things up and win the division other than the Dodgers, it would be the Padres for me. Oh, by the way, at 10-1. 10-1 to win that division, but I will just take them to make the playoffs on the yes. We're going with the San Diego Padres on DraftKings Sportsbook, and you're looking at a current number of plus 110 to make the playoffs there. I do have the Mets making the playoffs, and I do have the Phillies making the playoffs. So Mets and Phillies on the yes. Again, you go down the list of teams, and I was starting just the Central. Cardinals, Cubs, or Cardinals, Reds, Pirates. You're just asking much there. Brewers, I could see them getting it done and being one of those wild card teams. Look at the success that they had last year, Coach of the Year, all that. So they could continue to build things in the right direction. But I'm gonna change things up. I'm gonna say our wild card is in that National League Central this year, but it comes back to the other teams. And the Diamondbacks, look, they showed that they had what it took 2 years ago, but kind of fell, it didn't meet expectations last year. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of that. We'll see what happens. One man's take here. I'm going to bet against the Diamondbacks making the playoffs. And instead, I'm going to go heavy on the NL East. And it comes back to the Mets for me. I know a lot has to go right, but I still believe that there will be a lot of runs scored by that offense 1 through 5. That is a disgusting 1 through 5 if they can get it going and Vientos lives up to the hype. And I think he will. So for me, for my money, I think the Mets are going to win plenty of games this year. Still finish third in the division. But I think the NL East is going to be explosive this year. So give me the Mets, Braves, and Phillies to all make the playoffs out of the NL East. Anything to add onto that?
Not much. No, I like it. All
right. Let's get on over to the American League. Let's talk about the AL East here, Luke.
My favorite bet of the whole offseason.
Yankees 94-68 last year. Orioles 91-71. Sox finished 581 across the board. Jays didn't meet the mark, 80-82, the Rays were 80-82. Blue Jays were 74-84. Back over to a DraftKings Sportsbook as far as divisions are concerned. Yankees plus 135 to win this year. Orioles plus 270. The Red Sox plus 350. Rays 8-1. Blue Jays 13-1. Luke Arcaini.
My favorite bet of the entire offseason, the Boston Red Sox to win the AL East plus 350 now. I got them at plus 475 about a month and a half ago. I love this roster. I think it's awesome. They have a really awesome lineup. They have a sick rotation. Their opening day starter last year is now their number 5th starter. So I think they can make some serious noise. I like the Red Sox a lot at the number. It's now plus 350. And the reason I'm there is just I'm a little out on the Yankees this year. I look down this lineup and I say you have a young catcher who is still developing, and he had a really good year last year, and he's had a really good spring training. And then you look, it's obviously Aaron Judge. That is the guy in the lineup. And then you start to go down and you look at a guy in Bellinger and a guy in Goldschmidt and a guy in Chisholm. Like, what are these guys going to give you? because if those three guys that I just named don't give you all three of them above average seasons, they're not winning that division, especially because Aaron Judge can hit 60 homers, but like there's going to be days where Aaron Judge goes 0 for 4. And there's going to be days where he strikes out 4 times in a game. Who is going to carry the weight in this lineup other than Aaron Judge? I don't know. They obviously lost Garrett Cole for the year. Like, it's just, this to me has team that just made it all the way to the World Series flip to next year and has disaster written all over it for me. They are, and I think you can say this about a lot of teams. They're an Aaron Judge injury away from being a bottom 10 lineup in baseball. So I love the Red Sox. I'm just not as high on the Yankees this year. The Yankees are at plus 135. The Orioles just didn't get better. They lost Corbin Burns and they lost Anthony Santander, and they didn't do anything to like make your head turn. That's a team that I think can probably finish third in that division. And I love the Orioles last year. I actually had the Orioles go all the way to the World Series last year. They were an awesome regular season team. They just lost it in the playoffs, and then they sat on their hands and they didn't spend money this offseason. So I'm going to back the team that spent this offseason and has the best roster in the American League East. They might have the best roster in the entire American League. So the Boston Red Sox at plus 350 now.
To not bore everybody, I'm right there with you. That's who I have as well. Sox plus 350 again. You look at what they did. You look at what the Braves did last year. Like, you know, it's a little different ball game just from the standpoint of the Braves ended up winning 89 games versus what the Sox ended up doing. But both of them had legit like nightmarish seasons and still were able to produce and at least have you somewhat believe in. Of course, Braves are in a different stratosphere than what the Red Sox have shown us. But I know it's a trendy pick. I know a lot of people out there are pitching, Garrett Crochet as far as AL Cy Young, but with the addition of Bregman, you got Devers. That lineup is ready to go. I just think Boston is the play here, and I would be shocked if this isn't a great season and they're not playing in the postseason this year. So hopefully they can get there by winning the division at a nice plus 350 number. It's our first one that we agree on. How about that? All right, next one up. Let's talk about the American League Central, where the Guardians went on to win last year 92-69. Royals ended up tying the Tigers at 86-76 after it was all said and done. The Twins, who dealt with a boatload of injuries down the stretch, ended up finishing 82-80. And the Chicago White Sox, 41-121.
Yeah, it's a crazy number, isn't it? Yeah, it blows my mind every single time I look at it.
Wow,
it's bizarre.
That is wild. 41 wins by the Chicago White Sox last year. Over to DraftKings Sportsbook, AL Central odds. Minnesota Twins plus 210, Royals plus 270, the Tigers plus 270, the Guardians 3-1, White Sox 250-1 to win the division. Are you buying into what the Tigers showed us last year? One-hit wonders? Are you back on the Guardians train? You feeling the Royals here? Where you at, Luke?
I'm on the Royals. I'm on the Royals plus 270. I've been trying to figure out all offseason why the Twins are favored to win this division. And I just can't figure it out. I love the Royals rotation. It's really, really good. And I think this is the year, and I think we'll get there eventually. But my eventual AL MVP pick, I think this is an unbelievable season for Bobby Witt. I think this is a year to do it. And I think if he does it, I think the Royals can win this division. The Guardians didn't do a ton. The Twins didn't really do much at all. And the Royals didn't do a ton either. But it just feels like this is a team that has a nice little core there that's just going to continue to get better and better. So I like the Royals plus 270. This one's just another toss-up. This, to me, is like the NL Central. Both of these divisions are very toss-up like, but I like the Royals here, plus 270.
Yeah, I could see the Royals. They can get down with that. I took the Twins last year, and they just have too many aging stars. Buxton, he gets hurt every
It's just
year.
like
Correa.
who is their star? Like that's my problem. Is it a guy in with like a 750 OPS and Correa? Like they just don't have a guy. Like that's the thing. Like you need a guy on your team.
No,
They
and
don't really
look,
have
and
one.
and Correa, he only played 86 games last
Yeah.
year. And Buxton, he misses time every single year, but he is the guy, but you can't count on him. What did he play? 102 last year out of 162? Yeah, you can't have that. So I'm going to pass on that, and I'm going to go Tito. Give me the Guardians. You go Royals, I'll go Guardians. I just feel like, look, when Tito and first of all, that division is just tough for me. It's tough for me every single year. I picked the Twins last year. It didn't work out for me. Guardians were the play. But, I do look at, and Tito's no longer there. That's right. Who the hell is the manager as the Guardians right now? Good grief.
Oh, that's a good question. Who is it? Oh, Vote.
There you go.
Yeah, Vote. Stephen
Interesting. Vogt. All right. Well, it doesn't change my pick. I'm going to go with the Guardians. I just think that they're going to win the division again. It's a toss-up. I can see people making the case for the Royals. It's a trendy pick. Bobby Witt Jr., people are saying, is the top 3 player in the game. Could very well make the case. For some people, I've seen him say he's the best player in the game. You just wax poetic about him as well. The White Sox, we don't have to discuss. Tigers, come on, man.
What's was $1 worth on the White Sox here, Sean? Huh? What's $1 to win?
250 to 1. 250. There you go. Take a shot. So it's between the Twins and the Guardians for me. And I picked the Twins last year, so we'll just go with the Guardians this year at plus 300 for Cleveland. Plus 300. And you went with the Royals at plus 270.
Royals. Yeah.
All right. As I'm jotting this down. All right. Last one up. Division winners here. AL West. Houston Astros, they back in business here. They're plus 125. Rangers plus 225. I just saw the Rangers announced both of those kids from Vandy years ago. Was it Kamar and then Leiter's son are now in the starting.
Rocker.
Yeah, Rocker. There you go. Are now in the starting rotation with DeGrom eventually being in the starting rotation, if I'm not mistaken. He's not going to be ready right from jump. No, I don't believe. I believe he's 36 years old. That's pretty damn old.
He has the most wild Hall of Fame case of all time. I think he might. I think he might have the craziest Hall of Fame case in all of sports. Because he hasn't
done anything since 2020.
Yeah, but if you take his career stats and you throw away games and you look at stats that don't require a certain amount of innings pitched, he's probably a top 5 pitcher in the history of baseball. But he just doesn't have enough games. It's a bizarre case. Sorry. With that note of adding those guys to the rotation, I have the Rangers plus 225. I liked their offseason a lot. I thought last year they obviously won the World Series 2023, had a down year last year. I think their lineup's awesome. I love Corey Seager. I think Wyatt Langford's going to be awesome. He is going to win a American League MVP at some point in his career. He is an incredible player. I just think this lineup's fun. They have a lot of pop. They have a nice rotation. I'm going to roll with the Rangers here at plus 225 right now.
Don't hate it. Again, you could just go ahead and get rid of the A's. You can get rid of the Angels. You can get rid of the Mariners. They don't really ever produce for me. So this is a 2-horse race between the Rangers and the Astros for my money. And I'm going to go with the Astros. I know everybody's betting on them. It's over. It's done. Mark Henry Jr. slowed me down a couple weeks ago when I was saying, isn't it done for the Houston Astros? It's not. It's not. That is a franchise that knows what it takes to win. Of course, we know that they have lost players with Tucker and Bregman out, but they got some good replacements coming up to the farm. Again, you still got Altuve out there, and you know that you're going to get some major production from Alvarez as far as offense is concerned. You know, I do look at the pitching rotation. You got to be wondering about that. But at the end, I'm going to ride with the Houston Astros to win the West. And again, last year we didn't hit this. Astros ended up winning division at 88-73. Mariners 85-77, a little bit closer to what I remember. Rangers 78-84. A's 69 wins. Angels 63 wins there. So again, those are our division winners. Let's get to our predictions for the wild card coming out of the AL.
I like the Yankees, I guess. I like the Yankees. I like Detroit again. And that last spot for me is kind of a toss up between the Astros and the Guardians. I'll go Astros just because they're the Astros. So I have Yankees, Tigers, Astros, wild card, and divisions: Red Sox, Royals, Rangers.
All right, I am definitely going to have the Yankees in there. I'm going to have the Orioles in there as well. Those are my two locks. And then just throwing something up for grabs as far as a wild card play for 2024 or 2025, 26 here. Let's go with the Kansas City Royals. Ride your train on that front. Again, have the firepower as far as the offense is concerned. Pitching, we'll see what happens though with a team like that having some expectations. Can they live up to that hype? All right, now let's get on over to the awards and let's talk about the MVP from the American League first.
American League MVP. For me, I have Bobby Witt. I think he's at plus 450. I don't know. And I get it. It's hard for me to just continue to bet the same favorites every year because it just gets a little boring for me. And granted, I probably should just stay boring because then you win money off of Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. But I'm going to take Bobby Witt. I will say, if you're looking for one that I really like that's over like a plus 1,500 range, I would look at Vlad Guerrero Jr. at plus 1,700. I think this is one of him heading into a contract year. Really wants some hefty money next year. That's one that probably won't win, but if you want one on some higher odds, that maybe be one that I would look at.
The only issue is, if he gets traded, he's gonna have to deal with a ton, of change, and you're just asking a whole lot. He's gonna have to be dealing with that all season. Again, I don't hate it. I was looking at the Blue Jays to shake things up in that division. But so we'll see what happens as far as with him being dealt. It seems like that's going to be the case because are they going to keep him throughout the course of this season? And it depends what they're doing as far as win-loss is concerned. But if they are struggling, he's getting shipped out. He is gone. All right, for my money, I'm going to go with the Boston Red Sox. And the man made a big old stink earlier. Rafael Devers, that's my guy, 25-1 AL MVP. We're taking a shot, obviously, with the Red Sox and everything that they have going on. Again, you got Judge at plus 310, Bobby Witt at plus 450, Jordan at 6-1, Gunnar Henderson plus 750. Ramirez was the guy that I was eyeing up. Corey Seager at 16-1. But Rafael Devers at 25-1. I do think that the Red Sox are going to be the talk of the American League, and therefore he's going to be a big-time catalyst for that offense. So give me Devers, and you are going with Bobby Witt at plus 450. All right, over to the National League. Let's go. Who you got?
I'm going Bryce. I am. I am. I'm taking Bryce. Shohei Ohtani's not fun to bet for MVP, and I get it. If you want to just double your money, then that's fine because he's just going to win it again. So we can sit here and talk about all this, and Shohei is probably just going to win it again. I'm going to take Bryce because if I'm not going to take the guy that's going to win it every year, I want the guy that I'm going to watch every single game and my favorite baseball player in the entire league. I think it's another big year for Bryce. I think Bryce is just coming into this year extremely pissed off. Like I think he's so over everything, and the window is closed and this and that, and Phillies are the third best team in the division and all this stuff. I think it's a big year for Bryce. So yes, I get it. Shohei Ohtani's probably going to win it at plus 170. I'm surprised the books don't have him in like the minus 150 range by now. But I'm going to go Bryce 14-1.
It's a toss-up between Elly De La Cruz and Matt Olson for me. De La Cruz at 15-1. Awesome numbers last year. And again, he struggle with the Reds, but you look at the stolen bases. I think home runs are going to go up. I think De La Cruz could be the talk of baseball. He could be like that focal point, for the freak stuff that he's doing on a daily basis out there. But at 15-1, Matt Olson in that lineup, I don't see him taking a step back. I still believe in that he's going to continue to pound. He'll produce. The Braves are going to win the division. So again, it kind of ties in with the success there. Give me You know what? For S and G's here, no, I can't back. If I have to give one, I'm going De La Cruz at
Okay.
15-1. 15-1 is my De La Cruz pick on that one. All right, so those are my MVPs. Those are our MVPs. Cy Young Award. Let's talk some pitching. Who you got?
This one's so fun. I took Wheels. Homer. I know. I took Wheels. Another one that I do like, and I locked this in about a month and a half ago when I saw it, and I was like, I don't care when he's coming back. This is crazy odds. I took Spencer Strider. I think I got him at 40-1, and he's now down to 22-1. It really just depends how many games he pitches. But I don't care if he pitches 15 starts. If you throw Spencer Strider 40-1 in my face, I'm gonna take it. So I have Wheeler and Strider. But it does just feel like this is going to be the year of Skeens, probably. But I like Wheeler. I believe he's plus 750 right now. So yeah, I like Wheeler.
Skeens is 3-1. Zach Wheeler plus 750. Chris Sale 8-1. Blake Snell 10-1. Corbin Burns 12-1. Dylan Cease 16-1. Tyler Glass now 17-1. And then Spencer Strider, who is my pick as well, at 22-1. Give me Spencer Strider. You know what? When these guys come back from injury, their stuff seems to get better. That's going to be out of his mind. I think, and we know how good he is and what he's capable of, and how he's just so nasty. So 22-1. I wish I had a 40-1 ticket. Nice work by you on that one. But 22-1, as far as that is concerned, I'm going to ride with that one. A lot of people
are holding my ticket on Christopher Sanchez. It is a hefty number. I cannot remember what it was off the top of my head, but I took it like 3 days after it came out for fun. It's a big number.
You've been listening to a lot of Phillies podcasts, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Come on, Christopher Sanchez, really
it's tiny. I'm not telling anyone to bet it. I'm just telling you what I bet.
162, and Christopher Sanchez is going to be standing there after it's all said and done, and he's going to be the Cy Young Award winner. I hope that you're right.
He won't be. He won't be, but he's a top 7 left-handed pitcher in baseball.
He's nasty,
and he's up to 98, 99. Yeah, I'll take a flyer there. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's have some fun.
I don't hate it one bit. Excellent stuff. All right. Well, look, we just went down the list. We are officially
American League Cy Young. We got one more. American League.
No, we did it. Did we do it?
No, we didn't do it.
Oh, my fault.
No.
Did I miss out on that?
We did not.
I guess I did.
We talked about a guy that could win it, but we never gave him out. Because
I have two.
I have two.
I apologize.
I did take Garrett Crochet. Plus 450. The only issue with Crochet is he just has to stay healthy. If he stays healthy, he can strike out 275 batters a season. So I do like Crochet. I also took Gausman 25-1. Seems like he's healthy. The velo's up from last year in spring. He's always just been a really solid, like low 3s ERA pitcher. I think he can stand out on this Blue Jays team this year. So I have him as more of a flyer. But I like Crochet. And Scooble Crochet race, I feel like is going to be unbelievably fun. I like Cole Reagans as well. It's just 3 unbelievable lefties in the American League is the top 3 right now.
I'm going to be boring here. Give me Scooble, and this will be the first time that we've had American League Cy Young Award winner in consecutive seasons since Pedro Martinez in 99 and 2000. Ultimately, when you are talking about something that hasn't happened that long, there's a reason. And then when your name is even being discussed in those same conversations as Pedro Martinez, there's a reason. Scooble's as good as advertised, plus 380. I'll take a flyer on that. So give me.
You know what? I feel like because I cashed off of him last year, I feel like I have to probably take it again. So I'll ride that with you as well.
Nice. All right. Fun question to get you out of here.
Fun question.
You ready? I stumbled on this one when I was doing something yesterday or the day before. And you can go as far back as you want. You can go with fan favorite. There's no right or wrong answer. But Luke Arcaini, your ultimate starting 5 rotation is who?
Of all time?
Yeah, whoever you want.
Oh, man.
Starting 5.
Oof. I will go Randy Johnson.
Ooh, you go Randy. Okay.
I'll go Steve Carlton.
Okay.
That's fun. I'll go Pedro.
Okay.
Always been a Pedro guy. I'll put Roy Halladay in there. And can I take a prime? Can I take specifically someone's prime?
It's your starting 5.
Cool. I'll take prime Jacob deGrom, not hurt Jacob deGrom. And I know I'm forgetting a ton of unbelievable all-time pitchers, but
Sorry.
That's a pretty nasty starting rotation. Who did I say? Randy Johnson, Steve Carlton, Pedro Martinez, Roy Halladay, and prime Jacob deGrom. Yeah, that's gross. That's really good.
That is pretty damn good right there. I would go Pedro. I'm going Pedro. I'm going Roger Clemens. I'm going Nolan Ryan. I'm going Gibby, Bob Gibson. Gibby in there. For my 5th and final one. It's a tough one. Maddox was nasty. I feel like I got to get somebody in there from the Braves some way, somehow. So give me Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux in there for my starting 5 as well.
It's good.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Two damn good rotations.
Yeah, it's a pretty good rotations. We're going to win a few games there. All right, Luke Arcaini, great stuff as always. Be sure to follow Luke at Arcaini Luke, all one word. Wish him a happy birthday. Read him at crossingbroad.com. That's going to do it for our MLB predictions for the 2025 season. Good luck, everybody. Make sure you use DraftKings Sportsbook. We'll talk to you.